Hi everyone, Snow Nova Forever here, and this is going to be a rat care / supplies 101 video. So basically I'm going to tell you all the things you need to have to be prepared for your rats. I still don't have any. I'm going to get a couple come the end of December, and then I will be getting more periodically throughout the first couple months of the year. But I thought this would be a good time, since the rats won't be very distracting, when I open up the cage. This would be a good time to do a supplies video. Plus, I kind of have the cage torn up so you can kind of see my process. So the first thing I want to say is obviously you need a cage. The general rule is 2 cubic feet per rat. I always use the rat calculator plus a little bit. If you just go to the Google search engine, type in rat calculator or rat cage calculator, it's usually the first link that comes up, and you put in the dimensions of whatever cage it is you're looking to buy, and it should tell you how many rats you can house in said cage. Now this is the double critter nation like I have done in my other video, and it can hold up to 12 rats. 6 rats per cube here. I am going to be getting mixed genders, I believe. So I bought this also so I can have them separated, because the ramp kind of acts as a level, or as a door, so they can't go down below or up above. But this critter nation, not the ferret nation, but the critter nation, is definitely the best cage for rats. You also are going to need a carrier of some kind if you have to take your rats to the vet, or if, you're going to travel far, you're going to have to travel to get your rats. I have mine down here in the basement since I'm not going to be getting mine for a while. I'll clean it up, before I use it. But this is the Black Katy 2-level rat cage. This cage is not suitable for rats as a full-time cage. Now, if you've got like 2 little baby rats, it might be good for a couple months, but then you have to get something bigger, because they will outgrow this cage and they will not be happy. Another general rule of thumb, the bigger the better and the taller the better. So these kind of cages, also like guinea pig cages, are not very good because they're more wide than tall, and rats like to climb rather than, they like to run, but not as much as they like to climb. This does have the double level one, and I just have it broken down at the moment. I like to use this as travel because whenever I bring them home, I don't have to change them from, a carrier to a cage, which can also be stressful. I have a general 2-hour drive to get my rats, so I like to keep them in this cage so that's not quite as stressful as handling them, as soon as I get home. And I let them stay in here for about maybe a week, or if they seem to be really trustworthy, and very chill, then I'll move them into the bigger cage right away. That's usually not the case, so I'll leave them in this cage for maybe a week, a couple days, something like that, and then I move them to their big cage. It does work for the vet too, so that way they have like a recovery area. This is a very good recovery surgery kind of cage because it's not very high. But as soon as they start wanting to climb, you really should put them back in their big cage if they're ready. You don't want to leave them in a small cage like this for any longer than you have to. But I love this cage because it is a double level, so they can climb a little bit, but it's still small enough to keep them contained and safe. So I really suggest getting a small cage like this, again, with the 1/2-inch bar spacing, nothing more, because they will get out no matter how small they are or how big they are. 1/2 inch is what you need. That is what this cage has, and it's very easy to move around. It fits in the front seat of my car like perfectly, so I definitely suggest getting one of these instead of a carrier. This also is a nice size for introductions too, which I have in my future. My kitty's probably going to be right here. Murphy! 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 Also, you need a free range area for your rats. Mine's probably going to end up being in my kitchen because I have no room anywhere else in the house for 5 or 6 rats. Hello again. Usually I sit in my recliner and he'll sit there. I'll put my feet across and they use that to climb. But I don't think that's going to be big enough for 5 or 6 rats. and my room is certainly not big enough. But, if you don't want to let them, you know, on the furniture, you can always put a blanket down, not a towel, because they can't eat towels and choke. Which leads me to my next portion here. The next part is bedding, food, water, that kind of thing. I do use fleece. Okay, see, nice soft fleece. These came with the cage, but you can see how I have these ones kind of battened down here with little clips. These little binder clips. They're all around the cage. I actually have these little baskets that I have fleece inside. I'm going to have this one covered in fleece also. That's this blanket. I literally got this blanket from Walmart for $2. And it's going to definitely be enough, probably to do the whole cage, but I had already had some of the gray. So, you know, and if you're really that artsy, you can use the scrap pieces to make toys, or what I'm probably going to do is just do this up here and just give it to them to nest in. Fun. But, you don't want any wire bottoms. Like, if this was just this part down here without the tray, that's not good, because that can, give your rats bumblefoot, which is basically abscesses on their feet that is super painful. So you don't want to do that. You need some kind of tray, or at least fleece and cardboard down if you don't have trays to go in. But yeah, I use this as my main bedding, and only reason being these trays are not thick enough to hold like actual bedding. But I do have this down here. This is not what I usually use. What I usually use is the Carefresh Natural. But of course no bedding is 100% dust free. But I did find the longer I used it, the more dust buildup would be in the bottom of my old cage. So I kind of wanted to go away from that, and this is what my breeder recommended to me. Pine shavings are not good, or wood shavings, any of that is not good. But there's something about this aspen bedding that's like super soft and fine that it's perfectly safe for them. So I'm going to use this actually as a litter instead of a bedding. I'm going to put this in their litter tray, and I'm just going to use the fleece on the bottom of their cage. And we're going to see how that goes. Never used it before, so we're going to see how it goes. Like I said, I usually use Carefresh Natural, but it does have some more bedding in it than I assume this does. So we'll see how that goes. I'm also doing something different with their food. This is from Tractor Supply. I actually bought this for my old rat that passed away like right after I bought it, so it's basically a brand new bag. And I also have these because my rat's favorites were sunflower seeds, and they're good for treats, also sunflower seeds. They can't have corn though, and there is bits of corn in this, so I'll have to pick that out. But I know seed mixes are not very good because they just pick and choose what they want. They don't get all the nutrients they need. So to go along with these, I have the well-known, you know, Oxbow. Now I know it says mouse, but young rat. Now my rats are going to be babies when I get them, so they're going to have this. But then I'm going to go to the adult food whenever they're old enough. I think this goes till like 6 months or something like that. But it has all kinds of information and things on the back. Yeah, all different kinds of things on here. This food is also good for people who don't know what they're doing yet because it's their first rats. So just go with Oxbow. There's so many things out there. This is slightly more expensive, but it is so worth it. So I'm going to kind of give my rats a mix of these three. Pick out the corn from these two. And of course, fresh fruits and veggies are also a must, at least 2 or 3 times a week. But there are separate videos on what they can and can't have on that. I might do one of those in the future, but I'm still kind of learning myself what they can have fresh veggie-wise, so I'm not going to do one until my knowledge is 100%, or at least 99%. Another thing you can get are these kinds of things, okay? Cage cleaners, bin cleaners. I got both of these. These are the #1 rated brands for odor eliminators. I personally like this one because it is unscented. This one I haven't used that much, but this does have a slight odor to it, where this one is literally like water. So I like this one better. You can get this one from Tractor Supply for cheap. This one is kind of expensive from pet stores. And this one I also like because it's just a little spritzer. It's not a full-on spray bottle, because you don't want to use a lot of this stuff. If you use this at all, you don't want to use a lot of it at a time, because you'll take out the rat's scent from it, and then they're just going to scent more on the cage, and then it's just going to smell even worse. I typically do this once a month, and like I said, I like to use this one. But it's not all that necessary unless you have a bunch of rats or boys. I've heard, you know, boys can smell a little more, so I might do it because I'm getting boys this time. But I like to keep these on hand in case, you know, it gets really, really rank. Then I will use these. Next, you obviously need some food and water dishes. I have 2 of these water bottles. They open up at the top so you can put some water into them. I love these. Those are going to be super quick and handy. If I'm just passing by and it seems low, I can top them off. But you do want to clean out your water bottles no less than once a week. I'll probably end up doing it 2 times a week just to make sure they don't get all nasty on the inside. Like I said, I do have 2 of them. And lots of people don't like to do this because, well, I'll explain why in a second. But I like to use these ceramic or glass bowls for water also. The ceramic keeps the water cool instead of plastic. It's obviously chew-proof. But I like to do this because my rats, like, they always seem to like to swim in them. Like, they dunk their heads underneath in the summertime. And in the wintertime, they actually bathe themselves with it like birds. It's kind of funny. But I always like to give them this option too in case the water bottle stops working. They at least have some kind of water to get to. If you have normal bedding like this instead of the fleece like what I'm gonna do, people complain, you know, how the bedding gets in the water and then it's not safe for them, or, you know, it's not clean water. That is a problem, but I'm doing fleece, so I'm not gonna have that problem. You also want food bowls. I have a couple ceramic bowls, like I have a carrot one here. But I also use old dishes. Like, this is an old plastic bowl from a couple years ago. Someone put really, really hot food in it and it kind of melted it a little bit. So I sanded it down to make sure that nothing would get into the food, you know, and it's nice and smooth. But so if they chew this bowl, I don't care. And then I do have a hard plastic bowl up here, that little white dip pointing out. And it was a whale, but it broke. So no one was using it, so I'm like, I know someone who will use that. My rats will use it. So I'll probably put fresh veggies in here. See, it's broken right there. But I like to stick the tail in between the cage bars so if they sit on it, it doesn't come off. So yeah, you're going to need some food and water dishes. Now, this is the most fun of this part of this video. Toys, hideouts, etc. I'm going to start out with these because it seems like everybody else does. I've never had these for my rats before, but I've been watching a lot of other YouTube channels, and these apparently are rats' #1 favorite, these space pods. I did get 2 of them. I'm going to put this one down in the bottom. Hammocks, hideouts, anything that they can hide in, hang from, you know, that is their favorite thing in the world. I like these lava stone chews the best, and so did my rats. But wood is good too. Like, I have an all-natural wood chew here. This is actually a coconut hut. I don't know if my rats will fit in here or not when they get bigger, but they can at least chew it. With the wood and the rope I have it attached here. This was actually $1. I got this from Dollar Tree, but it looks just like an igloo, only it's open on both sides. But I'm just going to put it up in the back like this, behind my rat, or behind my briar shelf, so that way you can't see through it, pretty much. So, yeah, I love that. Hammock, it's really dark, and the brightness didn't help anything. But, I also got this. This is from my store at Dollar General. It's just a hangy basket thing with a clip on the back to kind of keep it secure, with some fleece in it. These little baskets were 4 for $1, so I just zip tied them to the side, put some fleece in there, put these clips on it, and yeah, those make nice little hideouts. This is an old igloo from my old rats I disinfected and put down in here. Here's another chew that you really can't see. And then I have lots of these kind of toys. These are interactive bird toys, but they're kind of expensive, but they're super good for rats to keep them occupied. You could put treats. I might put their seed mix in here, so they have to, you know, spin it and get their seed mix, so they're not super picky. They get what they get. I have these Himalayan salt rocks, which my rats destroyed in like a week last time, so I got 2 of them. What else do I have? Here's another interactive toy. I'm probably going to put fresh fruits and veggies in here after they pull this one apart. I have a couple more. Where are they at? Oh, here's one. It's got slats in the bottom. I'll probably put some more fresh veggies in this one. I thought there was another one. I thought I got a couple. Maybe that's all I got. I don't know. But, so yeah, that's what I have so far. These are little asteroid hamster chews, but my rats loved them. Come on, phone, focus. There we go. See their little lava chews? They're pretty cool. My rats loved them. I just kind of scatter them around their cage so they have to find them. I have a whole bunch of other toys coming from Wish, but obviously Wish takes a long time to ship things, so yeah, I won't be getting those. I have some more things up here, like a litter tray. These are big litter trays, because I'm going to try and litter train them. Another bowl that I might hang from the top. Another one. The more things you can put in their cage, the better. Crowded is always better. So, oh my gosh, I just dropped my phone. That's hilarious. Anyway, toys. Most important, the more the merrier. So the last thing you guys are going to need is a vet that will actually treat rats. There are like several, and I mean several, small animal vets in my area. One of them actually treats rats. They are considered an exotic animal, and I even have exotic animal vets that still don't treat rats. So make sure you find a vet before you get rats, and if you can't find one, then maybe you shouldn't invest, because rats do get sick. They get sick often. Rats do require a lot of money, even though the rats themselves don't cost a lot. Their care does, and their vet bills, they definitely add up. So you need money, you need a vet, you need lots of time to spend with them, like the free range, and if you want to trick train them. And you also need to do your knowledge, like do your research, learn everything there is to learn about rats, their care. You know, the more things you watch here on YouTube, the better, which is a whole reason I did this video, because it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot out there. So I hope you guys found this helpful if you were thinking about getting rats, and I will keep posting things as I get them. So look forward to the first of the year, because then we will be meeting my first 2 ratties. Bye, YouTubers.